Yo, how's it going, everyone? This is Mitchell Mander here, and welcome to another review of the Pokemon Journey series. Today we're going to be covering episode 118, the Ash vs. Steven battle. So, did this battle live up to the hype? And what cameos did we get in this episode? Well, before I get into the episode review, you guys know the drill. If you're new to the channel, you like this type of content, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It'd be pretty awesome if you would do that. Anyways, let's talk about this episode, shall we? So the battle begins with Ash taking out Dracovish as his first Pokemon, with Steven bringing out his Metagross as his first Pokemon. Not much to say here, but the main thing is that Ash actually anticipated Steven's moves here, using Agility and then Psychokinesis, and actually manages to counter this, which is something he learned from his battle with Paul, which Paul is watching and he's actually smiling at this revelation, seeing that Ash is actually utilizing basically what he taught him in his battle from a couple episodes earlier, so I thought that was really cool. But anyways, Steven withdraws his Metagross for now and takes out its Aggron. And this matchup actually doesn't last very long, as they basically collide and Dracovish takes one attack from Aggron and literally faints because of that. I'm not kidding. Just one hit and that's it for Dracovish. And just like that, Ash has lost his first Pokemon in this match. So Ash's second Pokemon is Gengar. And this matchup actually doesn't last too much longer than the Dracovish and Aggron matchup, because Gengar hits Aggron with a Will-O-Wisp, which burns it, which slowly does damage throughout their battle. And they're basically kind of going back and forth. It doesn't seem like Gengar was doing a whole lot of damage, but because Will-O-Wisp was taking damage over time, eventually Aggron falls, and Steven loses his first Pokemon. So Steven takes out his Cradily, which is a very bad matchup for Gengar, as we see here, because using Power Whip to basically get Gengar, whip it around and then grab it, use Ingrain to heal any damage done to it, and then, to top it off, is about to basically finish off Gengar with a Meteor Beam, which Gengar manages to counter this, but it doesn't last too much longer and eventually it ends up falling. With this, Ash is down to his last Pokemon. So Ash's last Pokemon in this match is Pikachu, and yeah, Pikachu is the MVP of this match, because during this time, because of Gengar basically battling Cradily, he basically figured out a strategy to deal with Power Whip. He has Pikachu use Electro Web as soon as Cradily launches his attack at Pikachu. And yeah, it basically catches it all, and then Pikachu lands a Iron Tail right on it, and boom, just like that, Steven has lost his second Pokemon. So it's now up to Steven's Metagross to try and finish off Pikachu. And yeah, for the majority of this matchup, it's not going Ash and Pikachu's way, because Steven Mega Evolves his Metagross, which makes it super fast, and it manages to predict all of Pikachu's moves. Pikachu can't land a single attack, and it just looks like a beatdown, a one-sided beatdown at that. That is, until Ash and Pikachu use a Pikachunium Z move. And this is where he turns the tables. And the interesting thing here is that the Z move actually doesn't all hit at one time. Metagross actually manages to dodge a few of the bolts, but ultimately ends up getting hit by a few of them, which basically subdues it and allows Pikachu to run in and basically finish off Metagross. And with that, Ash has defeated Steven, the champion of Hoenn, and advances to the semifinals to face off against Cynthia in the next round. And with that, the episode comes to an end with Alon, Steven, and Iris actually leaving, because the quarterfinals have concluded and it seems like the semifinals will be taking place at a different time. And yeah, that's how this episode comes to an end. Okay, so I have some mixed thoughts with this one. There's some good things from this episode and this battle, along with some bad things from this episode and battle. So, yeah, let's get started with the positives, though. You gotta start out with those pros. So, I will say there were some good elements of this battle. I like some of the strategies used from both Steven and Ash. I like Steven's strategy with Cradily, with it using Ingrain to basically heal itself, while using Power Up to subdue Gengar. But I also like Ash's strategy to counter this with Pikachu using Electro Web. And this was a total surprise. Steven didn't see this coming at all. I also like that Ash remembered his battle with Paul and figured out a way to counter his Metagross. So he basically had a plan to deal with Steven's Metagross, which I thought was pretty cool. That was probably Dracovich's only highlighted moment in the entire episode. So that was all pretty cool. And I will say, when it comes to the Z move, I'm 50-50 on this, so we'll start with the positives here. I do like the fact that the Z move didn't completely finish off Metagross, like this Z move has with every other Pokemon, which means that this Metagross is actually special. It's the only one that didn't die to the Z move. It managed to survive after it was done. Basically, the Z move ended up basically setting up Pikachu to defeat it with an Iron Tail. Basically subdued it long enough for Metagross not to react in time, and Pikachu took it out. So, in that regard, I actually like the ending of this battle. At least in that regard. Now, another thing that I liked in this episode was obviously the cameos we got. The cameos are becoming the most interesting thing from this tournament, in my opinion, because you just never know who's going to show up. And I have to say, some of the cameos we got in this episode blew my mind. I was not expecting to see some of these characters ever again. But here we are. They appeared again. So, starting from the ones that we got from the previous episode was Paul and Reggie. We know why they're here. Moving on, we have the cameos on Ash's side. His Pokemon at Oak's lab, Professor Oak, his mother, and Tracy. We knew that Tracy was going to be reappearing thanks to the Masters 8 preview trailer, but it's just nice to see him again. Now, when it comes to the Hoenn cameos, some of these just blew my mind, because some of them are characters of the day that I never thought we'd see ever again. But they're here, but the notable ones that we know from the Hoenn League tournament, along with other key characters from Hoenn, include Katie, who faced off against Ash in the Hoenn League. We have Tyson, the winner of the Hoenn League, and what the heck? Why aren't you participating in the Pokemon World Championships? We have Morrison, which you can only briefly see him, but yeah, he's here. I'm not a big fan of Morrison, but I thought it was kind of nice that he made a cameo here. Drew and Harley, May's rivals. So that was a huge surprise, so anybody that's fans of those two characters are probably going crazy. And Professor Birch. So yeah, we got some very interesting cameos here on the Hoenn side. Oh, and other aspects I liked in this episode include the interactions between Go and Iris and Hop. Those were pretty nice. I liked when Iris hugged Wooloo. That was really cute. And then when Ash won, Go, Iris, and Grookey were basically celebrating in the stands. I thought that was pretty wholesome. I did like that Alon and Ash finally interacted in this episode, where Alon basically tells them not to lose. And yeah, also the music was actually pretty interesting. We got the legendary theme from X and Y, and then a remix of the original Pokemon theme, the Japanese theme, when Ash activated the Z move, which I thought was really perfect for that scene. So yeah, those were other parts in this episode I really enjoyed. Okay, so moving on to my issues with this episode. So my main issues have to do with how certain aspects of this battle were handled. So for starters, Dracovich. What the heck? It managed to counter Metagross, but then it gets hit once by Aggron, and that's it? It faints? Are you kidding me? In the Dresnau battle, Dracovich got basically thrown around like a ragdoll throughout that entire match, and was just beat up left and right. And yet, it managed to tank all these attacks and secure Ash the victory in that battle. But here, it jobs, and it jobs super hard. It gets hit once, and it's done. I get that Steven's a champion, and he's above Dresnau, but still, an Elite Four member is pretty much almost champion level. You can't tell me that Dracovich couldn't have taken a few more hits than just one singular hit. It felt super rushed, and it felt kind of off-putting, coming off from that previous battle, and it just shows that Dracovich is just super inconsistent here. He's shown to be super tanky in one episode, but in the next battle that it's part of, it basically jobs instantly. I don't know, but that rubbed me the wrong way. I also felt like Aggron went down really fast too. Like I felt like its battle with Gengar was rushed as well. Because it didn't seem like Gengar was getting the upper hand on Aggron if it wasn't for Will-O-Wisp. If it wasn't for that move, Gengar would have been in trouble. But it got hit by it 3 times. I think it got hit by Gengar once. And it goes down. I'm sorry, what? I feel like it could have taken maybe like 2 or 3 more hits before going down. Or another Will-O-Wisp or something like that. It kind of felt like this section of the battle was also rushed in order to make way for Credilli. In order for it to basically take out Gengar, which that was probably one of the lengthier parts of this entire battle. And lastly, while there were some good things that I liked from the finale of this battle, I'm 50-50 with it. Like I said earlier, I do like the fact that the Z move wasn't the final move here. It basically set up the final move. But at the same time, this battle was super one-sided until Ash used the Z move. If it wasn't for that Z move, he would have lost this match. And I'm kind of getting a little tired of how Ash's battles are going because he's always portrayed as the underdog. I get he's going up against these powerful trainers, but it's like the same thing every time. He's getting backed into a corner and he manages to squeak by with a victory, just barely winning. Each time. They did it with B, they did it with Volkner, they did it with Dresna, and now they're doing it with Steven. Where he's basically losing until he manages to squeak by, either using his gimmick, one of his gimmicks, or he finds some other way to win. It's getting a little old. I'm hoping this doesn't happen with Cynthia, and I certainly hoping that if he's going up against Leon, I hope that he actually legitimately wins. And it's not like he's like backed in a corner the entire round and he just squeaks by and wins. I don't know about you guys, I'm just getting a little tired of it. I'm hoping they do something a little bit better with the Cynthia battle. But like I said, I'm still kind of 50-50 here. I like some aspects from this battle, and other aspects I don't really like. So yeah, that's kind of where I stand with this battle. It's not my favorite Journeys battle, but I don't think it's the worst one. It's certainly not the worst battle in the Masters 8 tournament so far. But anyways, guys, that's all I got for this episode review. So overall, a mixed bag of an episode. Not the best battle in the series, not the worst either. But yeah, I'm just mixed with this. But there were other good aspects I did like in the episode, like I mentioned, the wholesome moments, the cameos, the music, all that was pretty cool. So I'm going to give this episode a solid 6.5 out of 10. A decent score. So in the comment section down below, post your thoughts. What do you think of this episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you love this battle? Did you hate this battle? What is something you'd like to see from Ash vs. Cynthia? Do you want something done better in that battle that you thought was lacking here? Or do you think that this battle was great and they should just continue it with the Cynthia battle? Post your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And guys, have a good day or night wherever you're at, and I'll see you all later. Bye.